All right, welcome back to the Elias Macko Show. Now, speaking before the Montreal Chamber of Commerce this morning, Montreal Mayor Soraya Martinez-Ferrada announced that the city is going to front-load some work, spend $7 million to speed up the work on Sainte-Catherine Street West. The goal is to increase the volume of work, deliver a completed project in 2029, about a year ahead of schedule. Let's talk about that and more with Leslie Roberts, Associate Councillor on the Executive Committee and responsible for the downtown core. This is right up his alley. Tell us why the 1 year matters so much.
Well, the spinoff is huge, right? I mean, the merchants, even the occupancy numbers. If people know that St. Catherine Street in the downtown is going to be restored to its former glory a year ahead, plans can start being rolled out sooner. The economic benefits are really quite great. So that's the takeaway.
And it's going to cost money. I mean, budgets are tight, but it seems like we're going to spend a little bit more to get this work done a little bit quicker. Why is that a wise use of money?
Well, here's the bottom line. The bottom line is what we're able to do is take the existing amount that would have been spread till 2030, and we can spend it by 2029. And how that's going to work, Elias, is that there are so-called ghost sites. Uh-huh. So you've got construction site where you've got a crew fully active doing the work, and then just down the street it sits there empty for what seems like weeks. Well, it is weeks. We've basically reached out to those who will be doing the work and said, get us more crews. We'll give you the money now. And that's how we were able to do it.
What's the message, Leslie, for business owners that say it's not good enough, that, construction has hurt their businesses? I see another story this week about those on Stanley Street that are worried about ongoing construction in that part of downtown. What's your message for the business owners that say, you know what, this is killing us here. We need more. We
agree. We inherited really a situation that has to be done. There's generations of infrastructure work underneath the street. Then all the way down, you have wood in some cases holding these pipes together. The work has to be done. The question is, how quickly can we do it? And that's what we did. We went back to the drawing board, spoke to the services, spoke to the people doing the work, and said, we need to fast track this. So I guess the message is, we're on your side. We're doing this as quickly as we can. It is a priority, and we were already able to show you some results there. So we believe in the downtown core as much as you do. In terms of Stanley Street, so this one's a bit messy, but I'll explain it the best I can. The individuals who are quite vocal, and I understand their frustration, is that the previous administration had sort of put the construction site into a zone, and some of those people in the zone all those people were eligible for financial compensation because of, a lack of business because of the construction. The problem is, whoever drew the zone in the previous administration only did half of Stanley Street. So if you're on the east side, you qualify. On the west side, you don't. And so we've gone back to the services and said, how did you come up with this? More importantly, how can we include those individuals? We know they're going to be eligible. We've already fast-tracked it for phase 3, but we're in phase 2. So between now and then, what can we do? We're on it. It's going to take weeks. We got to figure out how, because it was passed by the council, how we do that as quickly as we can to include them. So it's a work in progress is what I tell them.
Leslie, for St. Catherine Street, back to that. So it's going to be faster. Will the end result look exactly the same as has always been the plan under the Plante administration? Or are there any tweaks being done to the actual end result?
I would say tweaks, yes. The bottom line is the part that's already been done is, you'll agree, is beautiful in terms of a pedestrian walkway. Yeah. It's going to be similar to that. We've made some tweaks to make it more fluid, and so that the mobility issue is there, whether it's traffic or pedestrians. But yeah, I mean, that glorious couple of blocks that have been done already, that's just going to extend down further west.
All right, Leslie, I want to talk to you about potholes. And I know, we could always talk about potholes, but here's the angle I want to approach it from.
Tell me.
When you guys came out and, right when the new year started and we're like, oh, we don't have a contract and we had all these potholes. And then the city announced, okay, we've signed deals with all these companies. We're going to tackle the potholes. And then really in quick order, I saw them being filled, okay? Here on Papineau, right outside our station, Papineau, just south of René Lévesque, there were tons of potholes. They fixed all the potholes. And they when you guys said, hey, we're getting those crews out, we're going to do it, it actually happened. Here's the thing. All of these pothole repairs have already crumbled. The gigantic holes are already back, and it's only a couple of weeks afterwards. I've heard from some people that say it's not even a couple of weeks. It's the next day when it starts to crumble. What's going on here, Leslie? Are these companies just not doing it the right way, or is it just like, every 2 weeks we're going to redo it? That's the plan.
Well, I would say there's a couple of challenges, and first and foremost, the mayor was speaking today to Sean McCamers, and one of her first remarks, and I'll repeat it for the sake of every Montrealer, is we're only at the beginning of spring. The worst is yet to come when it comes to potholes, so prepare yourself. That being said, at least we're on it. As we mentioned previously, when we came in, half of the pothole repair machines weren't working. A number of the other blue-collar pieces of equipment had not been maintained since last April. We've now in the process of fast-tracking, get that fixed, plus we get those contracts that you talked about. But it's a Band-Aid, right? It is a Band-Aid. So we got to get through this season, which is what we're doing. As the potholes needed to be fixed, we fix them. And then when they're reported again, and it is expected, the question is, how frequently do we have to do a second run or a third run will depend on the weather. You see the temperature fluctuating in the next few days. That's the enemy of the blue collar worker, because it's going to create issues for more potholes. You've also got in terms of how many cars are going over that pothole every day. So as those new potholes or old potholes that become potholes again are identified, they'll be put back on the priority list. And the numbers of crews that are out there already every day doing this, we'll just go back to the beginning, or if it's a more priority street, we'll fast track to that priority street. So it's a constant challenge. It's seasonal. That's the good news. And more importantly, the long-term plan is to look at a better material to make the streets last longer, more importantly. And then perhaps, and we're already doing this with local talent, the universities and the labs, at a better repair material as well that would last longer and hold up to the challenges of the temperature.
It seems crazy, Leslie, and I know this isn't your dossier, and don't worry, I'll have Alan D'Souza on and I'll grill him about it as well. But it just seems crazy not to have some sort of material that lasts 6 months or a year. We never had this problem in the past. Why do we have it now? Yeah.
Well, we can talk about the quality of the product. Generally across society, the quality of the product has fallen, whether it's at the grocery store or in the making of a pothole. The problem is it's much more noticeable and affects the daily lives of Montrealers every day. We're going back to the drawing board, turning to the experts. A number of my colleagues in the executive committee have already met with those in the know and those on the cutting edge with these things. So hopefully we'll have a better product once we get through this season.
All right, Leslie, listen, I have to leave it there. Always a pleasure to chat with you. We'll come back real soon, okay?
Thanks for allowing me to spread the good news about downtown Montreal.
Absolutely. And, listen, I'm all for a bright and beautiful Sainte-Catherine Street. Leslie Roberts right there, Associate Councillor on the Executive Committee. He's responsible for the downtown core, among other responsibilities.
I'm Dylan Playfair.
And I'm Tyler Smith.
We're putting loneliness in the penalty box by talking to some of our favorite athletes about the importance of friendship.
This is Bromance.
Bromance is brought to you by Charm Diamond Centers, proudly Canadian-owned and operated. Charm has been part of your love stories and bromances for over 50 years. And you can find Bromance on the iHeartRadio network or wherever you get your podcasts.